Hey everyone, this is Corey with Stafford's EDC, and today we're talking about the Kizer Escort. This here is the burlap micarta version. I'm rocking 154 cm as the blade steel, which you can see maybe, just maybe, right there. Nope, it was back on this side. Right there. And then you can see it's a dark Pinkerton design. You can see the DP right there, and then the Escort being its name. So let's talk about this. Most obviously, here I think what's worth mentioning is that this is using the clutch lock that Kizer is now using. I would say popularized by the drop bear. This, of course, if you have never seen a clutch lock before, is essentially an adjustable axis style lock where there's multiple positions for the peg that is part of the spring. So you can essentially change the detent on these knives, so that way they take a little more effort to open and give you overall a better action and just a bit of a stiffer pull on the spring. When you pull it, you have a little bit more stiffness, and that works out to give you much harder detent. And this being on bearings, flies open no problem. I think you guys are a little close, so I'm just gonna back the camera up here. Yes, that's much better. Yeah, so this is using the clutch lock, so it is adjustable. It would not surprise me if this one was on the stiffest settings. This is coming from the pass around with lefty EDC in it, and if I know anything about Kevin, it's that he likes his detents stiff. So that would be most likely seeing that set to the highest strength, but I have not taken this apart as it is a pass around knife, so that is just an assumption. You have a deep carry pocket clip with recessed screws, which is nice to see. There is a little bit of a pocket that this sits in. It's kind of hard to tell there. You can see it does stick up just slightly, but over on the other side here, you can see that little tiny pocket that's just slightly relieved in there, and that is for left-handed carry, and this being a sliding bar lock, the clutch lock, it is a fully ambidextrous knife. So you can switch this to be left-handed friendly with the pocket clip, and then you are already good to go with the lock. Cutting performance is just fine with this guy. Your blade stock's not overly thick at all. This is probably 0.1 inch blade stock, maybe 0.11. And it has a full flat grind, and it comes to a reasonably thin edge. It's always tough to show this off, but the edge does not get paper thin or anything, but it is a nice flat grind, so it does get to a pretty thin edge down there, which makes this thing pretty good at slicing. It's not an amazing slicer, but it is good at it. Ergos are pretty good as well, though I do get some hot spotting from the clip, and I'll talk about that here in a second. Looking at this handle, it is contoured. You can see, let me shut this. You can see the contouring there, so it does make it feel really nice in hand. The issue with it being in this pocket clip, in this position right here that I'm in, I don't feel it too much. But as soon as I squeeze and I give this a little bit of effort, this pocket clip kind of digs into me right here. Now, maybe if you hold it more in a saber grip, you won't feel it as much, and it certainly is more comfortable this way. But honestly, this is the most comfortable, either holding it on the opposite side, like it's very comfortable like this, with my fingers landing on it as if I was left-handed, but had it set up for right-handed carry, or carrying this with no pocket clip at all would be another option, though it does make using an axis style lock a little more difficult when there is no pocket clip, so keep that in mind if you do decide to roll that way. Overall, this has been an interesting one. It's it's certainly a nice design. It's very utilitarian, very simple. I like the blade shape, I like the grind, the way it looks on there. The fuller is certainly an aesthetic choice. You're not getting in there to flick that. Pardon me. But yeah, you're not going to get in there with your finger to flick that. And any amount of fuller you can contact up here kind of doesn't matter because the thumb stud's right there. That goes for thumb flicking as well. I mean, you can slow roll off of it, but you have the thumb stud to do the exact same thing. So I'm not quite sure I see the reason for the groove, though it does break the blade up a little bit and give it something interesting to look at in terms of varying in texture and varying in finish, because you have that a bit more of a shiny finish down in there from the machining. Overall, though, I mean, it's a well-built knife. It certainly has really great action, and it's, if you like an axis style lock, this is a really great option, and these are not extremely expensive at all. I think when I was looking at these like a week or two ago, this version was like $85 or $90, something like that. It might be even less. And then there's slightly more expensive versions as well. But for under $100, you are getting an absolute great knife. Kizer has always done a really good job, and this is no exception. And their clutch lock is really well done, and has been just as good, if not better, than the good Benchmades I've handled. There have been plenty of Benchmades worse than these that I've handled. So keep that in mind the next time you're looking for a knife, that you may be finding yourself looking at a Kizer if you want an Axis lock over something like a Benchmade. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Let me know your thoughts on the Escort down below. And with that, thanks again, and have a great day. Take care.